What made you choose your current brand visuals? Was it just based off trends or something that you just really loved at the time? Or was it just a style that you felt very inspired by? I'm Tabitha Emma, a brand design educator, and in today's video we're going to look at 5 reasons why you need to create your brand visuals with intention. So first of all, what do I mean by creating brand visuals with intention? Well, let's think about cotton candy. It looks pretty, it's really aesthetically pleasing, fluffy, pink and gorgeous. It might be appealing and fun, but it's just pure sugar. There's no substance to it, and after a while it's going to start to taste too sweet and you're not going to want to have too much of it. Your brand visuals are just the same. Your brand visuals need to be purposeful if you want them to be effective, to help your business grow and attract the right people. So number 1, branding is a business strategy. You might think that branding is just about having a pretty logo, lovely fonts and colors, and it just being that visual thing where you're just putting a pretty bow on the top of your business, making things look nice. But branding is actually a marketing strategy. It's designed to help attract the right people, connect with those people, and convert and make sales for you. It's meant to elicit an emotional response and affect how people perceive your brand, as well as inspiring action. So intentional visual branding is about choosing brand elements that are going to help you do those things. So this includes things like choosing colors that are going to evoke the right emotions in your audience, and also colors that are going to inspire the right kind of actions. So for example, you might have noticed that a lot of sales signs use the color red because that has the feeling of urgency. So when people see that, they feel like that sale is urgent and they need to take action. So color can be very powerful in that way. Then there's choosing fonts to position your brand and making sure that your brand aligns with your pricing, and using things like line and shape to give your brand the right kind of energy and feel, and using brand elements to signal the kind of business that you are. People are going to make that first initial judgment of your brand based on brand visuals because that's the first thing that they'll process. So it's so important that you make the right kind of first impression. Number 2, you want to evoke emotions in your audience. As I mentioned, brand elements can be used to evoke emotions. Emotions are very powerful because they create connection. When we share emotions with others, it increases the bond. So it's the same with branding. By having these emotions in your branding, you're creating a stronger connection and bond with your audience. The visual elements of your brand help to build the emotional feeling of your business. Emotions are very powerful because they create connection. When we share emotions with others, it creates a stronger bond. And so with branding, we're creating a stronger bond with our audience. And your audience will begin to associate certain emotions with your brand as well. For example, a brand that has bright colors, playful fonts, and fun, energetic patterns is going to feel really joyful, cheerful, and uplifting. It's going to bring a smile to people's faces, and they're going to associate it with positivity and joy. Or a brand with soft, muted tones, soft sketches of nature, and very simple, minimal fonts is going to feel very calming, grounded, and peaceful. So consider what you sell and how you want to market it and the emotions that you want to evoke. If you don't choose brand elements based on the emotions you want to evoke, then your branding is either going to feel disconnected or bland. Number 3, perception and positioning have a big impact on your business. The way a person perceives your brand makes a huge difference. Intentional branding can help position your brand in the marketplace. It's going to affect the way someone perceives it. Do you want to be seen as a high-end luxury brand or a fun, low-cost, affordable brand? This can all be done through branding. So you could have the exact same product, but by changing the way you brand it and position it, it's going to change who you're aiming at and the pricing that you can put on it. We see this a lot in the food industry. You'll see the exact same product just packaged differently with a different brand name on it and different style, and it's going to attract different kind of people. And it can also make a huge impact on how much people are willing to spend on that product. So you really need to consider how you want your brand to be perceived and positioned, and the kind of people that you want to be attracting. Then you can use intentional branding to create that positioning. Number 4, it keeps you consistent and creates confidence. When you create your brand visuals with intention rather than just following trends or doing whatever you think looks really nice at the time, you're actually going to stick with it. Basing your brand visuals on the wrong things means you're constantly going to be questioning it and constantly tweaking it and changing it because you're not really sure why you're choosing what you're choosing. Things are never going to feel quite right, and so you'll keep on tweaking it. A new trend might come along, or you might suddenly come across something that really inspires you, and suddenly you find yourself making changes to your branding again. You'll always be doubting your branding, and then you're not really showing up as your best self in your business as well. When you brand with intention, you know that every part of your branding is working towards the goal of your business and what you're trying to achieve. It's making sure that it helps attract the right people people, helps your business grow, and you'll feel so much more confident showing up in it because you know it's purposeful and you've chosen the right things. It's going to actually play a part in helping your business grow and making your work shine. Number 5, it builds a recognizable and memorable identity. When you've taken the time to create an intentional visual identity that evokes the right emotions and attracts the right people and tells the story of your brand, then it's going to start to become very recognizable and memorable. Your brand becomes a personality that people can quickly identify. It starts to feel familiar and trustworthy. People will see something you put out there and they'll quickly be able to identify that it's coming from your brand. And as you build familiarity, you also build trust. And trust is so important in business because when people trust your brand more, they're more likely to invest in it. Both investing time by listening to what you have to say and what you put out there, and investing money by buying your products and services. And they're also more likely to recommend you to others. You'll start to become top of mind. So if they hear someone else is looking for what you offer, they'll think of you. It creates a deeper connection with your audience and they feel more a part of your brand. And ultimately, they will then take your brand on as part of their own identity. So think, for example, if you love Mac products, you might be saying, oh, I'm an Apple girl, I always buy Apple products, or I always wear Lululemon. So you start to actually make that brand part of your own identity. You start to see it as part of who you are. And so when people really love your brand, really trust it, and it feels really familiar, it can then start to feel like it's part of who they are as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video and it really got you thinking. And if you'd like to learn more about how you can turn your business vision into visuals and create a really intentional brand, then make sure that you join the free workshop that's coming up soon. The link is in my bio, where you will learn how to go from vision to visuals. And of course, if you'd like to learn more about graphic design, branding and creativity, then be sure to subscribe to this channel and I will see you next time.